Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another discussion this morning on all things well-being. It's what Minecraft is about, right? Becoming the boss of our brain. We haven't said that in a while. And that is what it's about, so it's a good reminder, because thoughts come first and feelings come second. Actions and behavior last. So basically, what we're saying is changing our thinking literally change our lives, because it dictates how we feel. Thoughts dictate how we feel. There you go. Okay, my name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am so excited to talk about this topic today of, what are you influenced by? What are you under the influence of? Okay, that implies all sorts of things, which this could be turned into that, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're not talking about anything like that. We're talking about, again, you could turn it into that. Are you under the influence of the problem or the solution? This is very important because, and I'm glad we just reiterated the whole foundation of Minecraft as far as thoughts come first, because every single thought that we allow in expands, every single one. So if we're super focused on the conflict, whatever's going on in our lives, and today it's the gnats, it was the deer flies, they could pick you up and carry you away. They're total carnivores, which I can appreciate, but I just don't like when it's me, or a little G, Say hi, Giovanni. So anyway, okay, so the conflict or the problem or the solution, and so many times we've got something going on in our heads. It might be something huge, or it might just be, workplace politics kind of stuff that just has it's a thief of, we're going to get into, I think, a video on that soon, but especially workplace politics just can really get into that, and we just play them, we just hit replay over and over and over. It's like when you click that repeat loop on a video and you forget, and it's back, especially if you've ever played the shorts, the little short ones, it just keeps going. That could be used as a form of torture, I think, for, just because it hurts your head after maybe a minute. So, but we do that to ourselves when we have a conflict, at work, in the workplace or home or whatever, and we just tend to focus on it, which means we're actually making whatever it is bigger by the second. And I'm thinking of, I was inspired this morning and yesterday, anyway, one of those two or both, by Abraham Hicks. She's one of my teachers also. Be gone. She's one of my teachers also. I don't listen to her quite as much, but as you know, I think I go in jags. Look at this. We're right by, this is Beaver Pond number 1, and then when I go up a ways, there's another one, and then there's actually, I found a third one way back there the other day when we were back there in bear country. But here, this is a good example. Whittled nicely by a beaver. Okay, it's your average stick. Giovanni's he sees it, he wants it now. So when we focus, so we've really got two ends of the stick, and this is coming from Abraham Hicks. It's a really good analogy. So one end is the conflict end, that's this end, let's say, and one end is the solution end, that's this end. So really, and I don't really, I usually use polarized type of examples because they normally don't exist in reality. And of course there is the in-between in the middle. However, when we hand somebody a stick, it's like, which one are you taking? Are you holding the conflict end or the solution end? Because that is what we focus on. Gee, come here. Look, here. I have to throw it on the edge because he's not a big fan of the deep end. He's not aware of his genes, that he's a retriever. He's into the shallow end. He likes to wade. So anyway, when we're focused on we're influenced by the conflict end, we're not even able to take it because we're just replaying. It expands, it gets bigger, bigger, bigger. Whereas when we use our mental discipline, which is not easy when that's ripping through over and over and over again. Brain loves patterns, getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. The solution, therefore, has no room to get in. There's no room for the natural problem-solving, brainstorming stuff to come in to find the solution. The solution might be right here obvious and right here easy, but it can't get in. It can't jump into that feedback loop. It's just nuts. And we don't want, what is the other thing I wanted to say about? We also don't, as you know, we don't want to be, oh, that's so beautiful. There's a big, tall Alice in Wonderland flowers on the other side of the beaver pond, too. We also don't want to be outcome-based. We've talked about that. Another way to say it, Wayne Dyer usually talks about the outcome-based thing. Oprah talks about it, too. Abraham talks about conditional, our feelings being conditioned, being dependent upon the conditions of our environment. That's what I'm trying to say. So for the solutions, the outcome, the happiness, whatever it is that we are kind of wanting. We don't want the conflict, although you wouldn't know that the way we let it go through our heads, right? So the universe is picking up, okay, this is where they're residing. Send more, send more, send more. That's how the universe works, right? When we are dependent on our conditions to feel good, that is a big problema. It's a big problema. We've talked about it. When our needs are out here, that means we're dependent on feeling whole and complete and happy based on what's going on out here and checking all the boxes and making sure it's okay. So we want to make sure that is not what's going on. When we're focused on the conflict, that is what's going on. We're focused on the solution actually too much when it's way out here. That isn't good either. What we need to do is focus on the solution internally, because everything we need is already inside of the frame. We want to focus on the solution within. We win from within, right, Jay? Yeah. We win from within. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, okay, here's another example. I feel like she just said this to me this morning. An example of this might be, I think most of us can understand this. Somebody might, let's say in a particular day, has done a lot for another person. And nobody's saying either one of these people are bad people. They're good people. One person maybe went out of her way to help someone. Let's just say at work. It doesn't really matter, with the PTO or whatever, fill in the blank. She helped and helped and helped and feels like, oh, I should be appreciated by this person. I should be appreciated by this person. Obviously, that's all out here. It's what we're talking about. That's also ego-driven. The need for appreciation is ego-driven. When we're inside our authentic frame, doing the backstroke in our authenticity, it doesn't mean appreciation doesn't feel good, but we don't need it and we don't go looking for it, right? So right there is the first part of the whole issue. And then the other thing is, when we get so wrapped into, they're not appreciating me, they're not appreciating me, they're not appreciating me, realize that even at a certain point, even if they wanted to appreciate you, they couldn't, because it ain't going to get in. When we have all that feedback loop going on, wrapped around the conflict, which in this example is the need to be appreciated, they couldn't get that message in if they wanted to. Okay, so there's kind of different layers going on here. We're just going to repeat so it's super clear. I'm big on clarity. I'm big on clarity anyway, being neurodivergent, although neurotypicals, I'm sure, quite certain, would benefit from clarity as well. So here's the whole thing. Be influenced by the solution, not the conflict, okay? And then another layer, the solutions are within the frame. They're not out here, so that's the next step of that. Focusing on solutions out here, they really need to come from within. So listen to those whispers, okay? And then remember that we want to not have any kind of feeling good, fill in the blank with what the good feeling is, okay? With what the good feeling is. We don't want that dependent on the conditions of our environment. We don't want our ability to feel good to be attached to outcome. We don't want our needs to be out here in any way, shape, or form. All of our needs, all the needs, the solutions to the needs, everything in the frame, because everything we need is already within us. I know it sounds cheesy, but it happens to be true. Think about it. We're all connected to the divine. It's all in here. It's all in here. It's not out there. It's in here. And people, I don't know if you've ever put it out there with a certain, asking for a solution. All of a sudden, somebody shows up and they just sort of rattle off whatever it is you need to hear. It happens to me, like literally so frequently. I don't even have words for it. So frequently. But it's because I'm receptive. I'm receptive to hearing. My divine self on the inside is receptive to my divine connection to others. And it happens so easily, especially with those closest to me. However, also relatively frequently with total strangers, which kind of means that there really are no strangers if you think about that. But that might be a video for a different time. Okay, so be under the influence of the solution, not the problem. Realize whatever energy we give to our thoughts, they just expand, expand, expand. So be very careful about the thoughts you choose to keep. The rest of them, pop them like bubbles. John Kabat-Zinn would say, we are not our thoughts. Pop, 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 pop. That is true. And keep only the ones that you want to expand. Okay, that's it. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful, beautiful beaver pond at the Notch, a little G. Have a mindful, mindful day.